John Daub with KR Training, and I'm going to continue my journey to explore the red dot pistol by shooting my minimum competency assessment. It's May 14th, 2022. I'm here at KR Training's A-Zone range, and what I want to do today is I want to use live fire to validate the work that I've been doing in dry fire. So the last time that I did any live fire was a few weeks ago, and it was my first real session at shooting with the red dot pistol. So I ended up shooting a number of drills and assessments just to establish a baseline, see where I am, and basically see how bad that I sucked at things. And I saw that, and one of the big places that I saw that I could gain, and I had the most struggle with, was in the acquisition of the dot. Right, and that's a very common, very typical thing, especially as you're learning here. So what I did was I spent the past few weeks in dry practice doing nothing but working that. Just working on data acquisition, just working on my presentation, my press out, my draw stroke. And so now that I've worked on that for a while in dry practice, now it's time to come back here to the range, do a little live fire, and actually see how this is going to pan out, right? What I decided to shoot today is going to be my minimum competency assessment. This is a new thing that I just released, actually just a few days ago. So yes, I'm shooting it in part because, you know, it's timely. But the reason is that I really want to shoot this is because while the minimum competency assessment isn't about like assessing your gear, it is about assessing you and your skill. The reality is that when you and your skill are performing, you are performing with the gear, so you need to be able to perform with the gear. So it seems very reasonable to use this as a way to see, hey, can I perform with that red dot? But the other real thing that I like about this is that in my evolving thinking on minimum competency for defensive pistol, one of my more recent things is that while I still think multiple hits are an important part of it, that there should be a great emphasis or greater emphasis placed on the draw to first acceptable hit skill. And so the minimum competency assessment reflects that. And since this is all about, you know, dot acquisition, presentation, press out, draw stroke, it seems like a perfectly valid way and a very good way of being able to assess where I am with that. So let's give this a shot. I'm going to try shooting here my minimum competency assessment here with the red dot pistol. Let's see how this goes, and for what it's worth, it is cold drill time again. .69, and they're both in the white, so that's great. Well, they're in the gray. 3.18, had a little struggle on the dot there. .3. Ah. 2.57 with a real flub draw stroke. Gray. 2.45 struggled with the dot. 2.16. 2.54, again, dot struggle. 3.21, had dot struggle as well. Shit, that was wrong. Alright, well, just leave it alone right now. .79. high, but it went where I wanted, 2.5. Grab the other one's 2.05, 2.13. Oh boy. .7 on the draw with like 0.29 splits. .47. All right, well, let's see here. So looking at this, you know, so on the drive home from the range that day, I was thinking about having the assessment and what I had gotten from it, from this session, and I realized that I had failed to fully capture my thoughts on it. I got some good stuff down, but there's a few things that I just didn't get recorded, and so here I am. So one of the biggest thing I got out of it is regarding dot acquisition. So, you know, the prior live fire session was shooting a bunch of drills and seeing, okay, where do I suck? And dot acquisition was like the big thing. So I decided to spend the past few weeks in dry practice, just doing nothing but just dot acquisition, acquisition, and just that's all I pressed. And there's no question, definite improvement. I can see it, it's reflected in the times and the scores, the accuracy, you know, I can see it in how I feel and how I'm performing. There's still a long ways to go, no question, but I can see improvement. So that tells me that I just, you know, need to keep walking this path here right now. So that's all right. I did notice that sometimes I was dot focused. So I obviously need to be target focused and look through, but you know, that's not yet myelinated. Focusing on the front sight, that is very myelinated. So it stands to reason, but that's just something for me to work on. Another thing related to this that I need to just look at is that after I stopped filming, I reloaded my magazines, and on the KRT2 target, there are these two-inch circles, A and B. I did some group shooting, and I'm not sure what's up, but I want to just do a little bit of re-verification of 0. Check it, make sure, and see where it is, and all that stuff. But like I said, I don't think it affected what I got from it, but it is a thing I need to look at. I had some issues in obtaining my grip on the gun. So for a while here, I've been carrying and shooting out of a Filster Enigma with a JM Custom Kydex Enigma shell, you know, and what I decided is I'm trying out a JM Custom Kydex. This is a AIWB Wing Claw 2.0 with DCC clips. So you can see this here. It has the flat pad, you know, so you can just see, there you go. But anyways, so there's that. So the thing is, I'm still trying to dial in the holster, getting just the right, you know, height and cant and, you know, the right pads and pokes and things like that. So, so it needs a little work. I'm still trying to see what I can do, if I can make this work or not. We'll see what shakes out. But that's something that I need to adjust. I need to do some poking with. And then from here, my dry practice now needs to be working that full, like, you know, draw to first acceptable hits type of skill work. So that's what I need to do, especially because the next thing I have coming up here is Tom Givens is coming back to KR training for quite a long stint. I'm going to be taking the tactical practical and the historical handgun, and I'll be shooting it with this red dot gun. So, you know, we'll just see how it all goes. It'll be an interesting thing. So, anyways, that's what I got. So, I guess back to the other video. Hey, look. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to know, if you've been hearing me talk about this notion of minimum competency and assessment and all that, if you want to learn more, here's all you have to do. Go to the krtraining.com website, and there you can order a copy of Carl and my book, Strategies and Standards for Defensive Handgun Training, where I have a lot of my original work about minimum competency in there. And while you're at the krtraining.com website, you can download a copy of my free ebook, Drills, Qualifications, Standards, and Tests, which I just updated to include a whole section revising and updating with my evolutionary thoughts on minimum competency for defensive pistol, and it includes the minimum competency assessment along with a full description of the design philosophy and everything that went into it. So give it a download, give it a check out, go to the range, shoot it, let me know how you do on it. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Be strong.